Hello, have another book review for you today. This one on this book right here, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Very famous book, very popular book. It sold many millions of copies since it was first published in 1936. Dale Carnegie was actually born in 1886 on a farm, or grew up on a farm in Missouri. Very rural farm, far away from a town. Showed some promise in school, was a good student, not outstanding. Had a strong mum. His mum was a prominent character in the local community and wanted her son Dal to become a Methodist preacher. So had quite strong religious views herself. But Dal, at school, discovered he had a gift for speaking, and he became a great debater and public speaker. In his early 20s, he tried many different things, different jobs, but eventually he decided to start his own company, his own business, to train people in the art of public speaking, how they can grow in confidence and speak fluently, clearly, confidently, with purpose, to persuade other people of their opinions. And his methods were quite new at the time. He very much encouraged his students to be active during his lectures, encouraging them to speak on the spot. Incidentally, Warren Buffett was somebody who attended his classes way back in those times, in the 1930s. So very influential figure, and this book has been read by many people, especially those who have an interest in leadership, in becoming CEOs, managers, any roles where the importance of getting on with people and of building relationships, strong relationships, positive relationships, roles in which you have to consider many different personalities. People have read this book and have found this book to be of great use. What he does in the book is he tries to offer a number of principles that can be applied in order to make the reader more likeable, better able to get on with people, and build positive relationships that are successful and that breed success and help others to succeed. And of course, if one is working in a company or a diverse workplace with many different people, needless to say, it's going to be very important to try to get the best out of people, and that's what Dale Carnegie really tries to get the reader to think about. The book is interesting because he draws upon a huge amount of research and knowledge from different areas, including different religions, different philosophers throughout history, great figures like Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Roosevelt, frequently come up in this book. Benjamin Franklin, another good example, as well as British Prime Ministers. What Dale Carnegie did was he conducted extensive research into why these great figures were successful in leadership, and he tries to see if there are commonalities between how these people interacted with others as to avoid conflict and become successful in achieving a particular goal. One of the very basic principles that Dale Carnegie puts forward in this book is the idea of simply smiling. He stresses the importance of, human face. You need to come across as being receptive and being sympathetic, listening to people. How many times have you been in a conversation with somebody and you're just sort of waiting for them to stop talking so you can say what you want to say. And the first word that you utter as soon as they've stopped talking is I. I think this, I think that. Well, Dale Carnegie actually says this is the opposite approach to take. When dealing with people, it's much more important to listen and to try to understand their opinion and point of view and see if you can help them. You have to become genuinely interested in people and their problems. This is what he suggests. You have to really try to understand things from their point of view and listen attentively to their thoughts. He also stresses the importance of praising people. So, kind words. You did that really, really well there. I loved how you did this. But it has to be sincere. He stresses the importance of making sure your compliments and your positive praise is sincere, because otherwise people will see through it and it will have the opposite effect actually. People will think you're just trying to manipulate them if you're smiling falsely and constantly giving out sort of empty platitudinal comments. So he takes the view that you should dedicate yourself to becoming more interested in people, and this will greatly help in the long run. Famous quotes he says, so he says something quite interesting. He says when he goes fishing, he doesn't offer the fish strawberries and cream. He offers them a worm. For whatever reason, fish don't like strawberries and cream. We like strawberries and cream, but fish don't. Fish prefer a worm. So you've got to think about that. Everyone's different and no one is really interested in your problems. The first principle that he gives is don't complain, criticize or condemn. No one's really interested in your opinions. People are only interested in their problems, their opinions, and what's going on in their life. So in order to connect with people and communicate with people, you have to talk about what concerns them and not just yourself all of the time. Of course, it's important to share problems with friends, of course. Can't always be an ear. You know, you also have to be, a tongue. You have to talk and speak about your own problems as well. But lots of principles like those he gives with interesting stories and anecdotes from different parts of the world. So it's a very interesting book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. So if you're interested in becoming a better speaker, becoming a better person really, someone who is better able to get the best out of others around them, and builds lasting, important relationships, this book is full of sound advice and is highly recommended by so many people that have implemented his recommendations and have themselves succeeded. So thank you for watching this video and do check out the book.